Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to detect faces with CV2 module for Python and NumPy. It's going to be pretty easy and I'm going to keep it short. So let's get started. So right here we have two Python files. I'm going to explain the first one first. And one thing you have to know is you have to download these XML files. These XML files are going to help your Python file to feed the CV module with information. And then it's going to read what could be a face. And CV will also use your camera to detect faces there. On this link right here, you can actually download XML files. You can find all sorts of stuff like eye cascades, or face, or full body, or lower body, or profile face, or the Russian plate number. So anyways, let's open up our Python file. So the first thing we want to do is import NumPy as MP, then import CV2, which is our module for face detection. Then we have to load the XML file into a variable. We're going to use CV2 to cascade classifier and use cascade classifier function to load up that frontal face.xml. We're going to put it in this variable. Then we're going to cap the video. We're going to pick the device that we want to use, which is 0, which is our default built-in camera on laptop. And if you're using your external camera, maybe it's going to be like 0 or 1. And we're going to use CV to capture that. And we're going to put that into a variable as well. And then we can actually change the font stuff right here, but I'm going to explain this part later because we're going to get to that. Basically what this is going to be is basically after it draws a rectangle, it's going to write a word after it. It can be person or human or something like that. So we have the while loop right here, and yes, it has to be there. You absolutely have to have this because that's how the CV2 camera thing works. If you don't do this, it's just going to stop recording right away and take maybe 1 frame or something. So now we're going to read what the camera says, and we're going to put it in these two variables. And then we have the gray equals cv2.cvt color. So what this basically does is we're going to convert this to grayscale because it's easier for CV2 to detect faces like that. But don't worry, we're going to display ourselves a nice RGB face and then draw a rectangle over it. And now we have the faces, which is face load cascade thing, which is our variable from here, which is loading the frontal face, and it's going to detect multiscale, gray, in this case the grayscale, and then 1, 3, and 5. Now 1, 3 is the parameter for specifying how much the image size is reduced at each image scale. And then 5 right here we have the min neighbors, less detection, better results. So what this basically means is 1 for a bunch of people, if you want it to detect a bunch of people. If you want it to be accurate, then you're going to put 5. 5 can still detect like 2 or 3, but it's going to be more accurate like this. So if I have one face, I'm going to put 5. If I have more, I'll lower it down to maybe 1. So now we have 4x, y, wh. Now you've seen this in every other tutorial for face recognition. Basically what this means is just up, down, left, and right, or whatever. Take all the directories you can go. So up, down, left, right in this case from the screen. And then it's going to say face found on what location. And then we have the rectangle which we're going to draw on the x and y, on the x plus w, and then y plus h. This is again where it's going to be. And we're going to draw it on the image, which is, if you remember from here, red an image. And we're going to draw it on that screen. And we're going to display that screen later here. And we're going to draw this, which is going to be our color. And then this is going to be the thickness of our triangle. And then we have the text location is going to be xy. We're just going to put this right inside of here, because we want to put the text underneath the rectangle. So we have cv2.putText, and we're going to use that to put the text on our image, which we're going to display later and which we use here. And we're going to say person, and you're going to use text location, which is going to be our location, which is x and y from here. And then you're going to use the font scale, font color, and line type, which we defined right here. You can change this to however you want. And then we have the CV2 image show scanner on, which is going to say just scanner on, and it's going to show the image, which is going to be our recording from the camera. And then it's going to wait key. And now this one is actually meant to be combined with key presses, but I'm not doing that right now, so just put 10. If you put 1, it's going to do 1 frame and it's going to get out, but if you put 10, it's just going to stay forever. And then cap.release, which is just going to turn this off, and then destroy all windows, which is going to be turning it off normally. But we're not going to exit out like a normal person, more like a maniac. So anyways, let's run this. And as you can see, it can actually detect the face, and it works for both persons. Great, let's try another picture. Let's try the other person for this, and it seems to work. Let's exit out from here. Okay, and now let's get to the detect cat. And we also downloaded the XML file from the page. Now we can actually load up this one, and it's basically the same thing, and it's going to say cat found instead, and it's going to use the cat detect.xml. It's going to be the same thing, but it's going to detect cat this time. So let's run this. All right, let's take a look. So if you take a look right here, we can actually detect cats, even though we do have it on our phone. So let's enter one of these cats and see if it detects it without the eyes. As you can see, it's not perfect. It doesn't detect it without the eyes. Also, sometimes it detects humans as cats. And now let's try a regular cat to see if it detects it. There we go, it seems to detect a regular cat. And now let's try to reduce this number 5 that I mentioned before to 1. And if you reduce it to 1, we can actually see that it can detect more cats. There you go, you can see that it can actually detect more cats at once right now. And there we go, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.